And we're now joined on the phone by Andrey Kortunov. He is the head of the Russian International Affairs Council. That's a Moscow-based think tank that was founded by various Russian institutions, including the Foreign Ministry. You are one of Russia's most respected foreign policy experts. Tell us, who has advised the Russian president to invade Ukraine and why?
Well, I don't think I can answer the question. I can only argue that I don't think that diplomats, the foreign ministry or think tanks advise him to do that because to the best of my knowledge, all experts among the respectful think tanks considered this operation to be inconceivable. We did our cost-benefit analysis, and I think all of us, maybe with very few exceptions, concluded, even if we put all the ethical considerations aside, we all concluded that Russia has a lot to lose but not much to gain, even if the military operation is successful.
Okay, then I ask you another killer question. What does Putin want?
You should probably ask Putin, but I think that he has his list of demands. And first of all, he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, and he doesn't want Ukraine to cooperate with NATO in the military technical field. Second, I think he wants Ukraine to undergo what he claims to be denazification of Berlin, which means that the rightist nationalist forces should be somehow marginalized, if not erased, from the political scene. Apparently, he would like Ukraine to recognize the independence of the Donbas republics, Lugansk and Donetsk republics. And I think that the ideal solution for the Kremlin would be to reset the Ukrainian state project completely.
So let's talk about the Russian state apparatus. How controversial is this war? Can you give us a feeling about whether there's large support inside the state, inside the government, for Putin's war?
Well, let me say that in my view, of course, people who are dealing with economic and financial issues within the Russian government should assess the implication of this military operation. They should have a clear understanding of sanctions and what sanctions might mean for the Russian economy, for the Russian financial system. But as we hear from Vladimir Putin and other leaders in the Russian government, they argue that sanctions are unavoidable, that it really doesn't matter what Russia can do or what it will not do. Sanctions will be there because the West is hostile to Russia and it wants really Russia to disappear from the map of the world.
So there's a lot of talk about the oligarchs and how the sanctions are targeted also to those very, very rich Russians who may or may not be connected to Vladimir Putin. Tell us about their influence and whether the sanctions on them will actually have an effect.
Well, I think that the effect is controversial. Of course, some people close to the Russian leadership will be targeted and will suffer. Actually, they are already suffering because of the changes in the exchange rate. They are losing a lot of money already. But on the other hand, I think what happens with oligarchs is that the sanctions help the Russian leadership to renationalize the economic elite of the country, because there are many of these people who would try to position themselves as citizens of the world and kind of, independent economic actors. But right now, since they are prosecuted in the West, they will have to get back to the Kremlin for support and protection. So in a way, what goes on right now might help the Russian leadership to consolidate the economic elite of the country around the Kremlin.
Is there anyone around Putin in his inner circle who could be brave enough to contradict the president?
I don't think so. I think that we saw the meeting of the Security Council, and I think they are unanimous in supporting the president. And besides, for the time being, if you look at the opinion polls, you'll find out that the majority of Russians also support actions of the Kremlin in Ukraine, because the belief is that it's not a war against Ukraine. It's an operation to liberate the Ukrainian people from the evil Western influence.
So, but how long will ordinary Russians buy this theory and accept to be sanctioned and punished for a war that, as I understand, many of them didn't want in the first place?
Well, we don't know. We do not know how strong this support is and what is needed to bring this support down. I can suspect that it's about the length of the operation. It's about the collateral damage inflicted by the operation. It's about the price that Russia has to pay for that in blood and treasure. It's more or less, sorry to say, that standard situation. When there is a war, people tend to rally around the flag. If the war be longer, or maybe they have second thoughts about the goals that are set for the military operation, then they can have second ideas about what they should do and how they should react to it.
So let's talk about the way out of this crisis. What needs to happen from your perspective to find a solution for this?
Well, first of all, it's clear that there should be direct negotiations between Russians and Ukrainians, and I can understand that it will be very difficult to find common ground right now. The starting positions are diametrically opposed, and that constitutes a problem. Maybe they will need some kind of mediation, an institution or a person who is respected on both sides, who has access, who knows the problem. Someone like former Chancellor Angela Merkel might be the right person to assist the two sides to find some, at least interim compromise to stop the bloodshed.
Now, there were first talks between Russia and Ukraine on Monday. They're supposed to continue, but as it stands now, Russia goes into these negotiations basically demanding Ukraine's capitulation. Is that going to change?
Well, we don't know. I think that it will partially depend on how the operation proceeds. I think both sides believe that time making their case stronger. Ukraine apparently believes that it will be in a position to mobilize the international support, and in the Russian leadership, they believe that they can accomplish the mission that they put for themselves. So if you have such starting positions, it's very difficult to reach a compromise.
Andrey Kortunov, the head of the Russian International Affairs Council, thank you very much for joining us.